the day before I wrote this script, I left class late and girls had already reached the campus gate. And when I got there, there was a horde of them, and basically I had to get through all of them. And I'm not going to lie, bro. I hesitated at first, but bro, most guys would have gotten out of there with like four haram crushes and mental health problems. But I didn't even get any thoughts afterwards. So I just smiled, lowered my gaze, looked at my shoes, and then started walking slowly towards the gate. And they themselves made the way, and I got out all okay. So the first thing is, bro, you need to start lowering your gaze. You need to, bro. Like I have repeated this point in like 15 videos of mine. You need to understand that, bro. Even science says that your eyes, like these eyes, are not connected to the brain. These eyes are an extended part of the brain. Like think about it. They are not connected to the brain. They are a part of your brain. So you need to understand, bro, that all romance, all feelings start from your eyes. So if you just lower your gaze, you would stop getting these thoughts and you would stop thinking about the opposite gender. There is a reason that all of these psychologists and like all of like the romance books say that like make eye contact and all of this stuff for Allah. Because bro, all feelings start from the eyes. You first get a glimpse of her, then you start fantasizing about her, and then 2 days later you realize that you have had more thoughts about them than you have had about yourself in those 2 days, and then you call that a crush, a haram crush basically. Like if I had not lowered my gaze while going through the horde, things would have been completely different, and I would have had like mental health problems and like haram crushes because I did not lower my gaze. But because I lowered my gaze, I did not get any thoughts at all afterwards. And when I say any, I literally mean any, because I didn't even get a glimpse of anyone. I just looked at my shoes and started walking slowly towards the gate. And so that should be your number one trick. That should be your number one tool in your toolbox to stop these thoughts from coming in your mind. And bro, now when you look at the order of Allah, like the order of Allah which is mentioned in the Quran, you understand that what is haram is not a prohibition. In reality, it's a protection, because Allah knew. Do not underestimate this point, because bro, this is literally the 70% of this video, the 70% of this guide. Just start lowering your gaze. So the next thing is, bro, you need to understand that this is not your age to be thinking about these things. You need to understand that you need to wait until at least 21 to 22 years old, until at least you are about 21 and 22 years old, and that age is if you are on self-improvement and if you are growing at a very fast rate. Because bro, if you do not even know how to make your own freaking bed, why the hell are you even thinking about these thoughts? Why are you even thinking about these things? You need to be focusing on other things. You need to be focusing on first building yourself up as a man. Because bro, you need to understand that if you look at the teams of all the successful people that have ever been alive in this world, they spent their entire teens doing work, like working on their craft. And if you look at the teens of unsuccessful people, they all wasted their youth, they all wasted their teens in having fun. Like this should be the last thing on your priority list. Heck bro, it should not even be on your priority list. Like it's not on my priority list, because I understand that I am not of age currently. Like this is not my age to be thinking about this stuff. I have to be getting the thoughts about this, like about this channel, about my studies, about Quran and all of the other things, like on about self improvement and how to improve myself in every area, because I understand that this is not my age right now. And if I focus on building myself up as a man, Allah will take care of it. So if you start putting in the work and you start grinding at yourself and start building yourself like a masterpiece, start saying to yourself, Allah will take care of it. Bro, this line is so powerful that it calms your heart. Like, I don't know what else calms your heart like this line does. So, bro, please, like, just focus on yourself. Just focus on building yourself up, and Allah will give you the best deal, the best trade that you could ever think of. Like, He would give you a trade that you yourself did not even think that you could get this trade if you focus on building yourself up. Because bro, hard work never goes wasted. if you work hard on yourself today, you will be rewarded tomorrow. That is the rule of this universe. So if you're like me and your class is like like there are girls and boys both in the same class, which is basically Zoom, and I can say that at least all of the guys, like 50% of the brain power of all the boys, all the guys in that class is sapped just because the opposite gender is sitting in the same class as them. I don't know if like they have these thoughts or not. Like I don't know their brain, but I know myself. I know that at, at least like 30% of my brain power is sapped just because the opposite gender is sitting in the same class as me. But we cannot change this yet. Like as they say, if you don't like the rule, follow the rule, reach the top, and then change the rule. So this is a 4-step plan. So just right now we are following the rule. We are going to follow the rule, and then like basically like around 20 years from now reach the top and then change this rule. But for now we have to follow this rule. So to deal with this problem, start focusing on the class and then sit with friends who you feel comfortable with. So this is a 2-step plan. How I follow this plan is that I try to laugh as much as possible when the teacher is not teaching. So for this I have to be sitting with friends who I feel comfortable with and who I can open up to. Like if someday the friends who I am comfortable with, they are not sitting with me or they are absent, like I get these thoughts so much more. And then the second thing is, bro, start focusing on the class. And how do you focus on the class? Before the lecture begins, you say to yourself that from this lecture I'm going to ask one question. So in this way you trick your brain to focus on the class, because you give your brain a goal to reach by the end of the lecture. So you have to ask a question, even if it is just a single question. Like I do this, I tell my brain that by the end of this class you have to ask at least one question, and for this I have to be focusing on the lecture the teacher is giving. But when you start following these 2 rules, these thoughts will still come in your mind. And so whenever these thoughts come up in your mind during the class, just say Allah will take care of it. A lot of my notes have this line written on them that Allah will take care of it, because whenever I get these thoughts during the class, I just say to myself Allah will take care of it, and when I write it down, it has a lot more effect than when I just repeat it in my mind. And then another line I say to myself is that I would be completely okay if things don't work out with anyone for the next 2 years or 3 years. And I know I would be completely okay because I am working on myself. Like I'm not lying to myself. Like if you are down bad right now and if you say to yourself that I would be completely okay if things don't work out with anyone for the next 2-3 years, and your brain would completely reject this line. Bro, scholars say that love is a thing of an empty mind, even though this is not love that you are feeling. And all of us have heard the line that an empty mind is a devil's vessel. So if you are an empty mind and if your brain is an empty vessel, you are a devil's vessel. But if you build a routine and you make yourself so busy then that you don't even have time to think these thoughts and you don't even have time to rest in your day, you would start to get these thoughts a lot less than if you are just sitting there and being bored. Because bro, you are a teenager, you are full of energy, your brain is going to think of things, and if you do not give it some things and if you do not give it some topics to think on, your brain would automatically start thinking about the things that it wants. And bro, work should be your number 1 priority. Like number 2 priority after. The Ummah is in so bad condition, and like it's teenagers. Like this is a time that the Ummah needs every teenager to be working, and so you do not even have time to be thinking about these things. And so please bro, please stop thinking about these things and make yourself a routine and make yourself busy. Get so busy that you do not even have time to think about anything else. Then bro, if you are on self-improvement, you need to understand that this is a very, very, very big decision that you think that you can just make based on your feelings and emotions. And so that is the most dumbest thing that you can think of, like making such a big decision based on your emotions and feelings, because we all know that decisions based upon emotions and feelings are very worse than decisions based upon logic and brain power. So what you want to do is you want to make your standards, you want to be as detailed as possible in those standards of yours, And then when you have made that 10 out of 10 standards, make standards, like make standards for yourself as well. Make standards that that person would want you to reach. And if you want that person to be of that standard, what would that person want you to be of the standard? So just go and do it right now. Like when I did this, it took me, I think, around 20-25 minutes. So it's just 20-25 minutes, and this could save you like literally thousands of brain points. And then, bro, finally, when you have started doing all of these things, or even just a few of these things, start making dua. Because as I say, that the best combo of this entire world is putting in the work and then making dua for that work. So make dua to protect yourself from a haram relationship or even haram feelings. Like the dua I make is that, Ya Allah, direct me to protect myself even from the thoughts of a haram relationship. And so, bro, do good, and I'll see you in Jannah.